Good afternoon, world of readers. I am Book Dragon Erin, a young woman who hoards books like a dragon hoards gold, so the name Book Dragon Erin makes total sense. In today's review, I will be discussing X-Day Volume 1 by Setona Mizushiro. X-Day is a young adult fiction graphic novel duet, and it is also a high school drama manga, and I seem to be liking those more and more these days, and I have no clue why. There are several triggers in this book, such as bullying and harassment, stalking, attempted unaliving, and bomb violence. However, there are no guns. X-Day is a duet, as I said before, so there are two volumes, X-Day Volume 1 and X-Day Volume 2, both of which I recommend you read because they are remarkably well written. As far as a summary goes, I would like to mention that I am not the best at remembering foreign names, so it will be easiest for me to refer to the characters by their code names, and you will see what I mean in just a minute. High school senior Rika's life really sucks right now. She lost her passion for track and field, so she gave up her athletic stardom. Her boyfriend dumped her to be with her best friend, who never knew they were an item before. I do have a problem with this because how can best friends not know who the other is dating? Seriously, I know who my best friend is dating, and she knows who I'm dating. How is that kept a secret from anyone? Also, Rika no longer has any real friends to confide in on serious matters, and she is stressed and struggling over finals, and she all around hates the high school that she goes to. Rika, you were preaching to the choir because I felt the same way about school that you do. So with all that, she catches her best friend and her ex-boyfriend together at a sports meet, then goes to the computer lab to join an anonymous chat room to vent about her everyday struggles. Everyone in the chat room has an alias. Rika is 11, and the other anonymous texters chose code names like Polaris, Jangolion, and Mr. Money. Rika vents about how much she hates school and just wants to blow it all up. On a side note, Rika doesn't want to unalive anyone. She just wants to blow up the school some Saturday morning or night when no one is there, so no one can get hurt and their blood won't be on her hands. That said, let's continue. Polaris gives clues to finding their actual identity: tail and sleepless nights. Rika does feel so unsure about herself. Does she want to go through with this dangerous plan, or does she want to back out while she still can? Curiosity kills the cat, and Rika does her research on finding Polaris using the clues, which I will actually not spoil for you just yet. Rika gets a group text from an unknown number thanking her and the others for being there, if only anonymously, while she still had some shard of strength left within her. Not anymore, however, because she is going to attempt unaliving herself. Rika then sees a student, a loner girl with no personality, about to jump off the roof and seriously hurt herself. However, Rika realizes that it's Polaris and she screams the codename. When Polaris breaks in front of Rika, she says that she will unalive herself because her life is just as bad. Now, before they jump together, a young freshman who turns out to be Mr. Money and the biology teacher, Jangolion, run to the rooftop where Rika and Polaris are, and they realize that they've all been talking to each other in the anonymous chat room. Rika, the star athlete who gave up her dream; Polaris, the personality-less girl with a secret love for the Victorian era; Mr. Money, the young freshman who's long suffered abuse at the hands of his own mom; and Jangolion, the biology teacher with a love for all things cute. Instead of unaliving themselves altogether, Rika and the others agree to put their plan to blow up the school into action. Instead of just simply talking about it, they are truly going to do it. When they meet later to discuss their plans at a quiet coffee house, Rika spots Polaris amid her true form and expressing her truest personality, all dressed up in a Victorian dress, completed all with a parasol. Polaris admits that when she is in school, she can't be herself. I can't blame her. I wasn't necessarily myself in high school either, although I was weird for the sake of being weird instead of being weird for myself. While planning to blow up the school, the four get to know each other and understand each other's reasons for why they want to destroy the place they hate above all other settings. Now moving on to my thoughts about this book, let's talk about Rika. She is the star athlete who lost her passion, gave up on her future, and stated point blank that she wanted to destroy the place that made her feel like she was experiencing hell, and that place would be school. Rika, I totally get it. If I was any more messed up while I was still a teenager, I probably would have done something that I would have regretted for the rest of eternity after winding up in hell. I definitely would advise you, Rika, to get a therapist yesterday, because blowing up a school isn't exactly the best way to solve your problems. A little bit about my backstory with school. I experienced hell so much. I don't want to get into it because I don't want to trigger a buried memory. However, I did some things I wasn't proud of, and I wound up being homeschooled because of that. My way of protecting myself and others when I was in high school, I wanted to hurt the people who hurt me and made me feel like I wanted to unalive myself. However, I knew that wasn't a good thing, and I really didn't want to give up my chance of getting into heaven, because yes, I do believe in that. So instead of hurting myself or other people after my first unaliving attempt, I actually wrote a book, because I figured if my happily ever after could only ever exist in a book, I would write it. And as I wrote my book and attended therapy, I actually healed as my book was finished. And once my book was complete, I actually texted all of the people who hurt me in high school, and I thanked them for showing me how strong I truly was. And it did take a very long time to forgive them, but if I didn't write my book the first time around, I probably wouldn't be here anymore. Now moving on to my favorite character discussion, instead of discussing my personal life a little too much, Polaris is definitely, without a doubt, my favorite character. When Polaris is in school, she pretends not to have a personality because she is so worried about what other people will think of her. She's truly a deep-feeling character whom I would slaughter demons for just to put a smile on her face. I love the secret personality that she has, how she loves dressing up in Victorian dresses and carrying parasols around everywhere. Much as I love Polaris, I definitely ship her with Jangolion, and I really hope that in a future epilogue series of this manga, I really hope they stay together and eventually get married, because she is adorable, and he loves all things cute, and he thinks that she is cute. Thus, my reasoning for wanting them to be together. I do want to know so much more about Mr. Money as a character. Why doesn't he confide in anyone over the abuse that he faces at home? What is his dad thinking, not standing up to his own wife for beating their son so mercilessly? Where is his dad in all this chaos even then? I think it's honestly so beautiful how Mr. Money believes in love at first sight only after he sees Rika during one of her track and field meets. When he admitted to Rika that he was wholly in love with her at the end of the book, I was nearly crying and mentally screaming for her to get over her initial fears of emotion before being with Mr. Money, despite the fact that she's actually older than him. And I don't usually read books with the older woman, younger man romance trope, but I will make this an exception. On a second to last final note, if anyone out there comes to find out that Setona Mizushiro has written more of this duology, making it a trilogy or quartet or even more, please, 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 for the love of all things otaku, tell me in the comments below so I can buy the books immediately, read them, and review them here for you on my booktube channel. Thanks a million, ladies and gentlemen. I am so grateful. As far as my final notes go, I rated this book 5 out of 5 stars. Hands down, no doubt, loved it. And as far as my official review, holy manga stars, where do I begin? These characters are so relatable to me, each in their own individual ways. Rika is depressed beyond reason and wants to destroy the place that brings her the most pain. Holy crap, do I understand that? This manga, I will admit, brought up so many memories that I tried to bury, but it didn't have as negative an aftermath as I thought, because this manga simply made me want to crawl into the story, hug every single one of the characters, and play Cupid for Rika and Mr. Money, and then humorously kidnap Polaris and Jangolion and leave them standing together at the altar. Yes, I am a weird otaku romantic, so can you really blame me here? I admit it myself, and I'm never going to deny that. Anyways, even though this book is dark, it's really a great read, especially if you're struggling to find friends. You might not feel so alone after reading this book, and you might give friendships with unlikely allies a chance. So, all in all, I think this book is amazing, and I can't wait to read the sequel. Anyway, that's about it for today, so if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button to show some support, subscribe to my booktube channel to get more videos like this, turn on that notification button to be notified when I upload brand new videos every single Sunday, subscribe to my second channel, Erin Rogoff Official, where I post everything not book related. Keep on reading, and have a great day, everyone.